Sometimes you look for something by investing immense energies into study and research, and finally you find exactly what you have been looking for. And sometimes in this very process you find out something altogether different than what you have been looking for, and this different thing turns out to be far more relevant than what you have originally searched. That exactly has been my experience over the past 3 years when I worked on the area of Christian community. I was looking for the secrets of effective small groups, and what I found, without looking for it, was no less than the secret of spiritual power. There are maybe 2 people who do exactly the same things, but in one case you can sense it is backed up by anointing, by spiritual authority, by divine power, and in the other case it is not. In the one case you see overwhelming fruit, in the other case not. That's a spiritual dynamic that cannot be fully described. You sense there is something in the air that will result in fruit, authenticity, charisma, power, future, God's kingdom. Over the past 3 years, I was not looking for an explanation of this phenomenon, but what I found is not just an explanation, but actually a practical way of bringing our lives in line with these fundamental dynamics. The first thing that we identified in our research were 7 communal qualities, those factors that all healthy, effective small groups have in common. That was not a big surprise. The second discovery actually came as a surprise to me. The absence of each of these 7 communal qualities directly results in one of the so-called 7 deadly sins. So the absence of empowering leadership results in pride, the absence of gift-based ministry, in envy, the absence of passionate spirituality, in sloth, and so on and so forth. However, the third discovery was an even more fascinating one. Behind each of the 7 deadly sins, there is a clearly identifiable energy that we can either use in a kingdom-building way, which contributes to the corresponding communal quality, or it will inevitably lead to one of the 7 deadly sins. That's a new insight indeed. I didn't know this before. And yet, it's still not the core of what we found out. Over the past 2 years, we developed a tool that measures exactly these 7 energies. Well, in contrast to the 7 communal qualities on the one hand and the 7 deadly sins on the other hand, which are very concrete things, these energies at first sight seem to be rather abstract categories, a little bit boring indeed. People may ask for a test to evaluate the 7 communal qualities or even the 7 deadly sins, but nobody would have ever had the idea of asking for a test to measure these energies that nobody has ever heard about. And yet, this is exactly what we developed. Why? Well, when you asked me this question in the process of doing it, I wouldn't have been able to provide an intelligent answer. Sometimes I asked myself, why are we doing this? And other people asked the same question as well. And now, the secret of spiritual power is no foggy mystery any longer. It can be clearly named. It's believers with high energy in a specific, clearly identifiable area who invest this energy into the corresponding, which means the fitting, communal quality. That's it. Presently, we are just in the beginning of working out the practical consequences of this insight for all areas of church life. For one thing is clear: in order to see spiritual fruit, we depend on this kind of spiritual power.